Philosophy looks to the future. Confrontation, commitment, and utopia. Why philosophy? Many students approach the study of philosophy with the idea that it is a kind of game in which they will be required to take seriously such trivial questions as whether there is any sound when a tree falls in a forest when no person is around. Ambrose Bierce defined philosophy in his Devil's Dictionary as, quote, a route of many roads leading from nowhere to nothing, close quote. Philosophy is, in fact, interested in puzzles and paradoxes, and in some seemingly trivial ones, when the analysis and resolution of these can aid in the resolution of more significant problems, such as the nature of matter and mind. The source from which philosophical inquiry springs, into which it must return, is the human condition. Each of us is acquainted with doubt, human suffering, the need for action, and the anguish of moral decision. Almost everyone experiences hope and fear, a feeling of what is right and wrong, a sense of beauty, a curiosity about unanswered questions, and a desire to exercise powers and continue to develop them. Each individual responds to the human condition in which these experiences occur and attempts to create a life that has meaning and value. In doing this, he or she reflects and speculates, especially when conflicts requiring resolution arise between beliefs, feelings, and actions. Philosophy is never very far from ordinary reflection. The philosopher insists, however, on reflecting more thoroughly and with as much precision as possible. Consistency of argument, coherence of belief, and clarity of meaning are the hallmarks of philosophical reflection. Philosophy, wrote Victor Hugo, is the microscope of thought. The term philosophy literally means love of wisdom. Philosophy may indeed love and aspire to wisdom, but it never gives its followers the satisfaction of permanent possession of its goal. The philosopher examines beliefs and concepts the way a biologist does magnified cells, some of which may be harmless or healthy, while others are dangerous. With his microscope of thought, he submits them to his most concentrated scrutiny. He makes them give an account of themselves, of their origin, meaning, and value. Committed himself to the life of critical inquiry, he examines commitments in all areas of the human condition, no matter how secular or sacred. If his conclusions leave him unhappy, even enraged, he is determined nevertheless to reach them and to make them his own. Philosophers have sometimes been referred to as dutiful doubters. The spirit of skepticism has undoubtedly always been closely allied with philosophical reflection. The first step toward philosophy is incredulity, said Diderot. More recently, Alfred North Whitehead has defined philosophy as, quote, an attitude of mind toward doctrines ignorantly entertained, close quote. Both of these statements are in the mainstream of Western philosophy, which goes back to the Greeks and Socrates, who stressed the importance not only of knowing oneself, but of knowing for oneself, of arguing and testing one's convictions, and of following the path of truth wherever it might lead. The person who defined philosophy as, quote, a refined sense of one's own ignorance, close quote, was Socratic in his inspiration. Several of the great doubters in the history of philosophy will be presented in this book. René Descartes, who doubted his way to certainty, Leo Tolstoy, whose doubts nearly drove him mad, and William James, who overcame the will to doubt with the will to believe. Different though they were, these thinkers would agree that one must confront one's doubts courageously, rather than try to run away from them, and that the unflinching confrontation with doubt can lead to many benefits, focal as well as fringe. For only by testing one's beliefs in the air of philosophical skepticism can one know if the beliefs are not just accepted, but acceptable. I respect faith, someone has said, but doubt is what gets you an education.